Costello. Madam Speaker, I rise on behalf of New Zealand First to speak in support of the Equal Pay Act Amendment Bill. This is an important piece of legislation because we are standing up for women's rights. When we take the emotion and the noise out of this conversation, the key point that we are talking about, and the Minister, when introducing the bill, mentioned, is this is remaining the ability to raise the sex-based undervaluation, but more importantly, resolve them through a framework that will be effective, efficient, and will have a really clear connection to the core purpose of this legislation, which is about sex-based undervaluation. We are seeking to support meritorious claims, and when members across the House can muddy the water with a whole lot of issues about pay gaps and underpaid workforces, this is blurring the lines about the point of this piece of legislation, which is to raise and resolve the claims. Members across the House talked about it 4 years of fighting an equity claim. 4 years shows you that the system needs to be resolved and improved. The system needs to be made more effective, because otherwise we will spend years working through a legislation because we're too afraid to say perhaps this isn't achieving what we wanted it to achieve. It is about a workable and sustainable solution into the long term. It is about logical and effective ways of ensuring that we can raise the sex-based undervaluation and resolve it. And that is the key point that we are doing in this piece of legislation. This is why it is important to have the confidence, the ability, the common sense, the bravery to actually stand up and go, hang on, let's take a look at this. Is it achieving what we want to achieve? I have worked nearly my entire working life in male-dominated roles, and I think we can say proudly in New Zealand that we have progressed effectively to ensure that women's work is valued. Are we at the end destination? No. But there is work we can do. But the work has to be about the ability to resolve these claims, to recognise where they sit, differentiated from general concerns about pay rates, and actually deal with the specific conversation about sex-based undervaluation so we can achieve the equity goals that we want to. And not blurring it with a whole lot of emotive language about all of these things and how we're selling women down the road and all of this emotional language which will make it easy to get some points. But here we have this point where we have emotions being shouted across the House. This is about the point of exactly what we're trying to achieve, is a common sense piece of legislation that will address and adjust what we're trying to achieve, which is sex-based undervaluation claims being able to be raised and then resolved. And that is the direction we need to do. That is the direction this government is taking. We are not removing the ability to raise these claims. We are not removing the ability to deal with the issues. We are working through a process to ensure that this ability to raise exists and the ability to resolve is a priority. And that is why New Zealand First is commending this bill to the House.
I wonder, is Zulu Kilo, Papa India Golf, requesting permission from a female air traffic controller to land at Wellington Airport?
I just feel like she just repeated sex-based discrimination over and over again or something. Like, she didn't actually say anything in that. I mean, when she said take the emotion and noise out of this conversation, like, she's saying that she's a pick-me girl, basically, and that, you know, the hysterical women need to calm down and have some common sense. As soon as I hear the word common sense from a New Zealand First person, my body just shuts down. I go into a coma. I can't listen anymore. And the process that they're proposing will be anything but efficient. We won't even be able to get out the first gate for many of our claims. And, you know, we're looking at till 2027 to be able to raise a claim again for care and support workers.
Which is, you know, that...
Yeah. They're at minimum wage or just above for really, really difficult work. It's not pin money. You know, it's not money to get your hair set, you know, once a fortnight. This is real life.
Yeah, and it's not like the days of where you can survive on one income. Yeah.
It's never been like that since I've been alive.
Okay, let's get to party.
Yeah, you're being emotional. Yes, I know. Like, yeah, of course I'm being emotional. You're stealing money from my members. And just online as well. Like, I think because I'm a Pākehā woman, I get away with less abusive comments, but just the emotional labour demands of men in the comments, stomping on and asking me if I've read the legislation. Like, I have you?
Yeah,
like,
there's a lot of people who sit down there and try to jump things in a certain way. Like, half time it's like, well, what's the point of commenting when you have to sit there and deal with a dickhead who doesn't bother? You know, or Yeah.
So the legislation was first introduced in 1972, so that was the original Equal Pay
Yeah.
Act. But my understanding is that it was pretty unworkable. And so then the amendments were introduced. And that's the one that they're talking about with the Labor and the Greens. And that gave us an actual process. And, you know, it's world leading. Like my friend Amy is in Iceland at the moment teaching them about our world leading pay equity system because they're copying us. This amazing progressive nation
I
is
wonder if
copying
Brooke Van
us.
Velden's going to be there, and we're copying them, and then they removed it. But we're not
And then
going
Amy
to.
call over there that cancelling it, and she has to front all this Icelandic group and say, yeah, by the way, you're copying our legislation. It's gone.
Don't copy the bit that Brooke did. Yeah.
Thanks for watching. Make sure you're subscribed to our Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, Instagram, TikTok. Who's got the order, baby?